Mild drama unfolded at the National Assembly on Wednesday as the Senate debated whether to allow President Bola Tinubu's economic team members to attend plenary. The confrontation highlighted the tension surrounding the tax reform bills, with lawmakers split over the procedural appropriateness of inviting the economic experts into the chamber. Senate leader Opeyemi Bamidele, APC Ekiti Central, had moved to suspend Order 12, which governs who may be allowed into the Senate plenary to permit the attendance of key officials from the economic team. However, Senator Abdul Ningi, PDP Bauchi Central, opposed this motion, pointing to Senate rules. In response, Deputy Senate President Jibrin Barau, APC Kano North, defended the motion. The heated exchange underscored the growing tension surrounding the tax reform bill, which has drawn widespread public interest and concern over its potential impact on Nigeria's economy. Chief Rowdy, what do you make of this interesting session that happened at plenary yesterday?
Well, the clip I watched now, I cannot define it as a rowdy section because I didn't see any form of rowdiness, but I saw democracy playing out. Yes, because the duties of the members of legislature, or if you like call it parliamentarians, is to make their voices heard, in extension making the voices of the constituents heard. So what is playing out there is members of the National Assembly trying to make sure that they defend their rules. It's not even the issue of the tax reform bill now that is the problem, but their rules, their rule of engagement, that is what I saw that is that was playing out. Now, from what I heard Alain Dume say, it's like, to him, the presiding officer, as the deputy Senate president, who was presiding, didn't follow the rule of inviting people to the floor of the house. So, but the presiding officer have also ruled Senator Alain Dume out of order, having read the section that provided for how people are allowed into the chambers. So, but the only thing I can deduce from all that is playing out is the interest that each and every one of them place, or even what the government places on the issue, the topic itself that is supposed to be discussed. That is that tax reform bill. It's not, because this is not the first time people are visiting the National Assembly. The highest thing that they will do is that they suspend that particular session that does not allow non-members of the parliament to come in. They will not, somebody will just come through a motion to suspend that particular session, and they will now resolve to allow the person in. Or even when the president or the president has written the National Assembly for, if you watch, whenever they are bringing people for screening, the president will write. And even before they come in, they will suspend that particular session that do not allow non-members to come in. And the people will come in. So in this one, I do not know whether through the special advisor to the president on National Assembly, whether there was a letter, requesting for permission to bring in the members of the economic team to come and explain whatever they were coming to explain in the National Assembly. Or even if there was no letter, there was a notice. Or if there was no notice, whether the proceeding for the day, whether it was captured there, if it wasn't captured, I think the likes of Alain Dume and the PDP senator are very right in what they were saying, because you need to prepare the minds of the members on the issues to be discussed in the particular day of the session. So, but the only thing that is playing out is not even the rules of the Senate, but the topic itself, the tax reform, the interest each and every one of them has in that particular, because this tax reform now is targeting the so-called business or the higher class in the society, not the lower class. And they know what to gain and what to lose. So by so doing, they are trying to do everything possible to prevent the discussion of this particular bill on that particular day.
This discussion actually, what happened was that Senate Leader Opeyemi Bamidele actually asked, because the Senate rule has, by Order 12, there are persons that have access, that can access plenary, that can come to Senate during plenary. Now, according to the Senate rule, Order 12, this team from the president, they are not part, they do not, would I say, they are not qualified to be in that Senate plenary.
Yes.
Now, Senate leader now appealed that that particular Order 12 be suspended.
Yes.
To allow these people to come in.
Yes.
So that they can be heard. And they can, so Nigerians can actually watch, because this is a live show. Nigerians were watching. Yeah. Nigerians can actually watch and hear them explain this tax reform bill themselves. However, Senator Ali Ndume now said that it cannot be impromptu like that. And secondly, that there is a committee. I mean, a Senate has different committees for different things. So that this particular visit by these people, they should be, they should meet with the committee in charge of economy and all of that. However, the deputy leader defended the motion that was being presented by Leader Opeyemi to suspend Order 12. However, Leader Opeyemi now amended that, if you watch the full video, and now quoted another order of the Senate.
Section of the rule, yeah.
Yes, that now said that when certain exigencies exist, that the Senate can actually, you know, improvise and make rules for that moment.
Flourish, I see.
You know, that was what was happening. And then when Ali Ndume was reacting much later, I think the deputy Senate leader, when he was the deputy speaker, when he was addressing Ali Ndume before this reaction you saw, said that what he had said earlier was a rhetoric. So Ali Ndume now got angry and said, "You cannot tell me it's a rhetoric. I'm a ranking senator."
Thank you.
And hence all that played out.
You see, the reaction of Ali Ndume, if you watch very well, you agree with me that Ali Ndume is a member of APC. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. The leader of the Senate is also a member of APC. Mm-hmm. So it is no longer the issue of political party now.
It's about the interest.
It's about interest now. Mm-hmm. And if it was when Ali Ndume was still serving as the chief whip also in the Senate, I think they moved him sometime.
Yes.
Maybe he would have been be in the same tone with the principal officers of the Senate or the presiding officer.
So he felt insulted.
Thank you. So it's not that he felt insulted, but Ali Ndume is more or less an opposition now to the principal officer, because whatever that is playing out now, he's not being carried along ab initio.
All right.
So he is now making his voice. You heard him say that you can rule me out of order with your gavel, but I will speak my voice. I will say what I want to say with my voice. Mm. You can have your way
with the gavel.
I have my say with my voice. That is the beauty of democracy. The majority will have. The minority will have his say, and the majority will have their way.
All right.
That is it. It is all like that all over the world. Mm. What is playing out, for me, this is my opinion, is that the Senate principal officers are defending the interests of the government, so to say. Remember what I told you here, that when there is collaboration.
In this instance, one might think, all right, very well. Joining me on for this conversation is Ambassador Dr. Ekie C. Ekie. Ambassador, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Good morning, Ambassador Ekie.
My pleasure.
Ambassador, what is your take on this rowdy session in Senate over the tax reform bill? And also, I want to get your take or your opinion on the tax reform bill as well.
Oh, particularly, I want to say thank you. And I want to commend my brother who is right there with you. He's doing a very good job. Again, the issue of the taxation, I would like to say that Senator Ali Dume is entitled to his knowledge about the workings and the operations of the Senate. But I also think that if the majority opinion, and it's a matter of necessity, that Senator Ali Dume should understand with the leadership of the Senate and the majority of the senators who have obliged the Deputy Senate President, who is, moderating the session or presiding the session for the sitting in terms of the tax laws matter. And of course, it's a reform process. Reform does not take place in one day. And I'm sure that we all know that. So allowing these critical leaders in our area of national life that has to do with taxation to just go and present themselves and their facts and their opinion privately, I don't think it's very much okay. It is better. I know the Senate committee in charge of these matters will still do the needful, but I think making it a public discussion in a plenary where Nigerians are watching, where all the senators that are representing the entirety of the country based on their senatorial districts, I think is important. So after hearing them present the facts and figures and the reasons and the motive and the ideas, the benefits of these new policies that they are coming up with, I think the entire Nigerians, the entire senators can now privately make contributions to the committee to guide them while they come up with a better, bill or a law that will enhance our effective taxation system. I'd like to also lend voice in the issue of the tax bill, the new policies that are coming up. I think it's wonderful. You cannot rob Peter to pay Paul. For instance, in the case of the breweries, the alcoholic drinks, if you say, for instance, with all due respect, I respect my brothers from the other religious extraction. If you say you do not like the issue of alcohol, I don't promote alcohol anyway, and because you don't want it in your society, I think don't also benefit from the proceeds from alcohol if it is being allowed in other region or other zone of the country. Because if they are able to take the liability of such productions and such activities, allow them to enjoy the asset alone. So I want to also think that it's a wonderful thing in also trying to checkmate the excesses of our decision. We are, not a religious state, but if you want to promote religion in your state, also just stick to the resources that comes from what your faith is not against. But I would like to say that the tax policy is a good one, but it must be moderate. Yes, we need so much money. I have always been on the advocacy of the money and the resources that we have so far that runs in trillions. How has it affected the common man? Because most of this taxation, again, will boil down in ensuring that the poor man goes through much pains again. And I like to also caution and advise. We should not come up with taxations that are working in Europe, in America, whereas the contexts are not the same. In America, in Egypt, in Europe, rather, the issue of shelter is not a challenge to her citizens. The issue of education is not a challenge to her citizens. The issue of welfare is not a challenge to her citizens. Government have provided, at least to a very reasonable extent, the basic amenities of lives. So if you are taxing me for providing for me, I think it's very, very righteous for me to reciprocate by paying my tax. Because I feel that from what you have given to me, you have not given me job, and you want me to give tax. The business I am managing, you do not know how I survive to even have that tax, that business running. You don't give me power. You don't give me a kind of support in any way. The roads are bad. There is no power. There is no, I don't really know the area that government is very much supportive, even to the entrepreneurs. Even for those who are working for government, what is their minimum wage? You talk about 70,000 naira, even 100,000 naira in this kind of critical economy that people cannot even, I don't know what 100,000 can do or run for even a single man or a lady, talk more or less of a family man. And yet, with the issue of VAT, the little taxation they deduct from them from the places of work, and yet are we still coming up with new taxations? So I'd like to say that the taxations and the welfare of workers and entrepreneurs, should greatly be considered. Because if you are going to tax me, not like, you take from one hand and you collect from the other hand again, then it just looks as if you are very, very wicked. So I want to think that those who are managing our tax system are humane, not because you're in position today. Mind you, no matter how you want to generate revenue today, one day you will not remain in that office. You may not know how the economy of your family members may have, but I'm not against taxation. I'm only saying that if we must come up with taxations law or policies or bills, we must be mindful of the current hardship of Nigerians. We must be mindful of the kind of bills we propose so that it will not become reactionary. Because you can come up with a bill, we are going through a lot, which can lead to revolution, can lead to resistance of those policies. And instead of you to help our economy and our society to become peaceful and develop, it will become an anarchy or a chaos society. I want to think that it's very, very sensitive, because it's not just about the crude oil that the federal government takes directly and gives to our state and our local government. How they use them, that we do not know. But in this case, that we have to be the one to generate this money. The common Nigeria that you have not given job, the common Nigeria whose pay back home is very, very mean and mega. The common Nigeria that you do not know how they survive, even in their little businesses. The common Nigeria who does not even have a business to drive. I think we must tread this issue with caution. So Mr. Ledume is right, but I also want to feel that the issue of taxation can be discussed in the public. It's not a secret thing for any few senators to discuss. Yes. After we have made our opinion by our public presentations and our senators who are representing us, then our opinion and our own, mindset as senators representing other senatorial districts, and we Nigerians can now go back to the Senate section in terms of the committee. So I want to think that Senator Ledume has his own reservation, but I feel that I'd like to join the Deputy Senate President for allowing, and I also want to thank him for allowing the issue of that presentation to be made public. I think they will return back again to come and clarify on some certain issues. Because I don't think that it's... Thank you.
All right.